I never thought I'd be the type of person to plot revenge against my own family. But here I am, 2 years deep into what I now know was the most elaborate con job of my life. And honestly, I'm done being the good daughter. My name is London, and until I was 24, I had my whole life mapped out. Full scholarship to MIT's graduate program in bioengineering, research position lined up, the works. Then my mom got sick. "London, honey, I need you to come home," she'd said over the phone, her voice trembling in that particular way that made my stomach drop. "The doctors, they can't figure out what's wrong with me. I'm so scared." What kind of daughter says no to that? So I deferred. Just for a semester, I told myself. Just until we figured out what was happening with Mom's mystery illness that left her bedridden most days, too weak to cook or clean, or do much of anything except lie on the couch looking pale and fragile. "You're such an angel," everyone said. "Your poor mother is so lucky to have you." My sister Felicity? She was too sensitive to handle seeing Mom like this. "You know how I get around sick people," she'd say, waving her manicured hand dismissively. "Besides, you're so much better at this caretaker stuff than I am." 2 years. 2 years of my life spent measuring out pills, making bland meals for Mom's sensitive stomach, doing endless loads of laundry, and watching my dreams collect dust while Felicity posted Instagram stories from wine tastings and weekend getaways. "London's the responsible one," Mom would tell visitors, patting my hand weakly. "I don't know what I'd do without her." The thing is, I actually believed I was helping. I believed Mom needed me. I believed I was doing something noble and selfless, while my brilliant, beautiful sister lived her best life because she was too delicate for the harsh realities of illness. God, I was such an idiot. "You look tired, sweetheart," Aunt Gabriella said during one of her rare visits last month. She was sitting at our kitchen table, watching me scrub dishes while Mom napped upstairs. "When's the last time you did something for yourself?" "I'm fine," I said automatically. It's what I always said. "Are you, though?" Gabriella's voice was gentle but pointed. "Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're drowning." I turned to face her, dish towel still in my hands. "Mom needs me." "Does she?" The question hung in the air between us. "London, I've known your mother my whole life. She's always been dramatic. But this whole thing, it just doesn't add up." "What do you mean?" Gabriella glanced toward the stairs, then lowered her voice. "I mean, have you noticed how she seems to feel better when certain people aren't around? How she can suddenly manage things when it suits her?" I wanted to defend Mom, but something in Gabriella's tone made me pause. Because now that she mentioned it, I had noticed things. Little inconsistencies. Times when Mom forgot to act sick. Moments when she seemed perfectly fine until she remembered she was supposed to be suffering. "I should go check on her," I said instead. Gabriella just nodded, but I caught the look in her eyes. Pity mixed with something else. Something that looked like she knew more than she was saying. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, I've been paying closer attention, really watching, and what I've seen has been making my stomach turn. Like how Mom can suddenly find the energy to rearrange the living room when she thinks I'm not looking. Or how her medication schedule seems to change depending on what she wants to avoid doing. Or how she never seems to have symptoms when Felicity calls. But the minute I suggest maybe getting a second opinion or hiring some help, she's practically on death's door. Tonight she asked me to find some insurance documents for her latest doctor's appointment. "They're on the computer somewhere," she said weakly from the couch. "In my email, I think. You know I'm too tired to look myself." So here I am, sitting at the family computer at midnight, scrolling through Mom's email folders, looking for anything related to insurance or medical bills. But what I found instead is going to change everything, because buried in a folder labeled MISC, I just discovered an email thread between Mom and Felicity that starts with the subject line, "Operation London, Phase 2. My hands are literally shaking as I click it open. The first email is from 3 months ago. From Maeve. To Felicity. Subject: Operation London, Phase 2. Darling, I think we need to amp things up a bit. London's been asking too many questions about getting me a home health aide. We can't have strangers poking around. Maybe it's time for another episode? The dramatic kind that makes her feel guilty for even suggesting outside help. My vision literally blurs as I read it. I have to blink several times before I can focus on Felicity's response. From Felicity. To Maeve. Subject: Ari, Operation London, Phase 2. OMG, yes. Remember how well the collapse worked last time? She didn't bring up that job interview for weeks after that. You're such a genius, Mom. London's so predictable. Just mention how abandoned you feel, and she caves every time. I scroll down. There are dozens of emails. Months of them. From Maeve. The MIT thing is officially dead. London called them yesterday to withdraw completely. I almost felt bad for a second, but then I remembered how much money we're saving on caregivers. Plus, Felicity needs someone to handle the engagement party planning, and London's so good at organizing things. From Felicity. She's literally the perfect little servant, and the best part is she thinks she's being noble. I told Remington about how selfless my sister is, and he was so impressed. It's actually helping my image having a martyr for a sister. My stomach lurches. I run to the bathroom and barely make it before I throw up everything I ate for dinner. When I come back, there's more. From Maeve. Had a close call today. Gabriella stopped by and I forgot to act weak when I was moving the couch. Had to pretend I was having a good day, but I think she's getting suspicious. We might need to be more careful. From Felicity. Just tell her London's being dramatic if she asks questions. Everyone knows London's always been the intense one. Besides, Gabriella never liked confrontation anyway. The emails go back 2 years. 2 entire years of them laughing at me, planning around me, discussing me like I'm some kind of trained animal. From Felicity. I can't believe she actually gave up MIT. I mean, I knew she would because she's always been desperate for approval. But still, that's commitment to the bit. From Ang, Mavenor. She made me soup from scratch today and cleaned the entire house. I almost felt guilty watching her scrub the bathroom floor, but then I remembered how nice it is not having to do any of that myself. Your sister really is a godsend. From Felicity. A godsend with no social life. When's the last time she even left the house for fun? This is working out better than we planned. I'm shaking so hard I can barely scroll, but I keep reading. I have to see how deep this goes. From Maeve. London asked about physical therapy again. I told her the doctor said it would be too strenuous for my condition. She looked sad but didn't push it. Sometimes I think she's too trusting for her own good. From Felicity. Speaking of trust, Remington's parents want to meet the whole family at our engagement party. I told them about London's sacrifice, and they're so impressed. They think our family has such strong values. If only they knew. The engagement party. Right. The one I'm supposed to plan and cater and clean up after, while Felicity gets praised for having such a devoted family. From Maeve. Make sure London handles all the party planning. She's so good at details and it'll keep her busy. Plus, if she's focused on making everything perfect for you, she won't have time to think about her own life. From Felicity. Already on it. I told her how important this is to me and how I need her help. She practically melted. It's almost too easy. I hear footsteps on the stairs. Heavy ones. Felicity's boots. My heart stops. She's not supposed to be here until tomorrow. I frantically close the email window and pull up a random insurance document, my hands trembling as I try to look casual. The footsteps get closer. London? Felicity's voice carries down the hallway. What are you doing up so late? She appears in the doorway, still in her party dress from whatever event she was at tonight. Her makeup is perfect, her hair styled in loose waves. She looks like she stepped out of a magazine while I'm sitting here in my old pajamas and fuzzy slippers, playing the role of devoted caretaker. Mom asked me to find some insurance papers, I say, surprised by how normal my voice sounds. Oh, you're such a good daughter, Felicity says, but now I can hear the mockery underneath the praise. How did I miss it before? Always taking care of everything. She walks over and puts her hand on my shoulder. The same gesture that used to comfort me now makes my skin crawl. I have some exciting news, she continues. Remington and I set the date for the engagement party. 3 weeks from Saturday. I know it's short notice, but his parents are only in town for a few days. 3 weeks? I turn to look at her. That's not much time to plan. I know, but you're so good at this stuff. And honestly, she leans closer, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. I really need this to be perfect. Remington's family has money, and first impressions matter. You understand, right? I understand perfectly now. Of course, I say. I'll make sure everything's perfect. Felicity beams. You're the best sister ever. I don't know what I'd do without you. Neither do I think, as she heads back upstairs. But you're about to find out. The next morning, I'm making breakfast when Felicity floats downstairs in a silk robe that probably costs more than I've spent on clothes in 2 years. Morning, sunshine, she says, sliding into a chair at the kitchen table. Could you make me some of those fancy eggs? The ones with the hollandaise? Eggs Benedict, I say, cracking eggs into a bowl. My voice sounds perfectly normal, but every word feels like glass in my throat. That's the one. You're so talented in the kitchen. I keep telling Remington how lucky we are to have you. Lucky. Right. Mom shuffles in wearing her bathrobe, moving slowly and holding on to the wall for support. The same performance I've watched 1,000 times, except now I can see it for what it is. Theater. Oh, London, you're up early again, she says weakly. I had such a terrible night. The pain was just unbearable. I'm sorry, Mom. Did you take your medication? I tried, but my hands were shaking so badly. She sinks into her chair with an exaggerated sigh. I don't know what I'd do without you here to help me. Felicity reaches over and squeezes Mom's hand. London's amazing, isn't she? Always putting family first. They share a look across the table. Quick, but I catch it. The kind of look conspirators share when they think no one's watching. So, Felicity says, turning back to me, I was thinking about the engagement party. Remington's parents are very particular about presentation. His mother specifically asked about the catering. What kind of food were you thinking? I ask, whisking the hollandaise. Something elegant, sophisticated. You know how to do those little fancy appetizers, right? The ones that look like they came from a 5-star restaurant? I can figure it out. Perfect. And we'll need flowers, obviously. Lots of them. White roses, maybe some orchids. And the house will need to be spotless. Like magazine perfect. I plate her eggs and set them in front of her. How many people are we talking about? About 50? Maybe 60? She takes a bite and moans appreciatively. God, you're good at this. Anyway, Remington's parents are flying in from the Hamptons, and his business partners will be there. Very important people. 60 people? The number hits me like a slap. Felicity, that's a huge party. I'll need help. Oh, you'll be fine. You always pull through. She waves her fork dismissively. Besides, it's not like you have anything else going on. The casual cruelty of it takes my breath away. 2 years ago, that comment would have made me feel guilty for even thinking about my own needs. Now it just makes me angry. Actually, I say carefully, I was thinking about maybe taking a class or something, getting back into a class? Mom's voice goes sharp with panic before she catches herself and switches back to weak and trembling. Oh, honey, I don't think I could manage without you right now. What if something happened while you were gone? Mom, it would just be a few hours a week. London. Felicity's tone is warning now. Mom needs you. This isn't the time to be selfish. Selfish. The word they've been using to control me for 2 years. You're right, I say. I'm sorry. Felicity's smile returns instantly. That's my girl. Family comes first, right? The front door opens, and Aunt Gabriella walks in without knocking, the way she always does. Morning, everyone, she calls out, then stops when she sees us all sitting around the table. Her eyes land on Mom, who's suddenly sitting up straighter, looking more alert. Gabriella, Mom says, her voice noticeably stronger. What a nice surprise. Maeve. Gabriella's tone is neutral, but I catch the way her eyes narrow slightly. You're looking better today. Oh, you know how it is. Good days and bad days. Mom slumps back in her chair, remembering to look frail again. Right. Gabriella turns to me. London, could I talk to you for a minute? Privately? Of course. I follow her into the living room, my heart pounding. How are you holding up? She asks, keeping her voice low. I'm fine. Are you? Because you look exhausted. When's the last time you left this house for something that wasn't a doctor's appointment or grocery shopping? I can't remember. Aunt Gabriella, I'm worried about you. This whole situation. She glances toward the kitchen, then back at me. Something doesn't feel right. What do you mean? Your mother. I've been watching her, and some things just don't add up. The way she perks up when certain people aren't around. How she seems to forget she's sick sometimes. My pulse quickens. You think she's faking? I think, Gabriella says carefully, that you need to start asking yourself some hard questions. And maybe stop being so trusting. Before I can respond, Felicity appears in the doorway. Everything okay out here? She asks, but her smile doesn't reach her eyes. Just catching up, Gabriella says smoothly. London was telling me about the engagement party. Sounds like a lot of work for one person. Oh, London loves planning parties. Don't you, sis? The way she says sis makes my skin crawl. Like we're best friends instead of whatever we actually are now. Actually, Gabriella continues, I was thinking maybe I could help. Or we could hire some caterers. That's so sweet, Felicity interrupts. But we really want to keep it personal. Family made, you know? It means more that way. Right. Gabriella's voice is dry. Well, London, you know where to find me if you need anything. Anything at all. After she leaves, Felicity turns to me with a look I've never seen before. Cold. Calculating. London, she says quietly, I hope you're not planning to make any waves before my party. This is really important to me. To my future. You understand that, right? The threat is subtle, but unmistakable. Of course, I say. I would never do anything to ruin your big day. Good. Her smile returns, bright and fake. I knew I could count on you. As she walks back to the kitchen, I make a decision. She's right about one thing. She can count on me. Just not the way she thinks. That afternoon, while Mom is napping and Felicity is out getting her nails done, I call my old college roommate Stella. London? Her voice is surprised. Oh my God, I haven't heard from you in forever. How are you? I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Okay, you're scaring me a little. What's going on? I take a deep breath. Do you know any lawyers? Lawyers? London. What? Please, just answer the question. Yeah, actually. My cousin Jared is a lawyer. He handles family stuff, civil cases. Why? Can you give me his number? London, you're freaking me out. What's happening? So I tell her. Everything. The emails, the fake illness, the 2 years of my life I'll never get back. By the time I'm done, Stella is dead silent. "Those absolute bitches," she finally says. "London, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Nobody did. That was the point. Okay, I'm texting you Jared's number right now. And London, whatever you're planning, I'm here for you. 100%. An hour later, I'm sitting in a coffee shop across town, waiting for Jared. I told Mom I was grocery shopping, which bought me a few hours. "London?" A man in his 30s approaches my table. He's wearing a simple button-down and jeans, not the expensive suit I was expecting. "That's me, Jared Watson. Stella told me a little about your situation." He sits down across from me. "But I'd like to hear it from you." I pull out my phone and show him screenshots of the emails I took last night. His expression gets darker with each one he reads. "Jesus," he mutters. "How long has this been going on?" 2 years. "And you gave up MIT for this?" "Full scholarship, research position, everything." He leans back in his chair. "London, I have to ask, what are you hoping to accomplish here? Because if you're looking for justice, the legal system can be slow and expensive. If you're looking for revenge, what's the difference? Justice is about making things right. Revenge is about making them hurt." He studies my face. "Which one do you want?" "Both." "Fair enough." He pulls out a notepad. "Tell me about the financial impact. Lost income, opportunities, expenses you've covered." For the next hour, I lay out everything. The MIT scholarship I forfeited, the research position that would have led to a 6-figure salary, the money I've spent on groceries, medications, household expenses while living rent-free but essentially unpaid. "This is fraud," Jared says when I'm done. "Clear cut. You have documentation, financial damages, and a pattern of deception. The question is timing." "What do you mean? When do you want to file? Because once we do this, there's no going back. Your family will know you know, and they'll lawyer up fast." I think about Felicity's engagement party, all those important people, Remington's wealthy parents, the perfect moment when she'll be at her most vulnerable. "I want to wait until the engagement party." "That's in 3 weeks?" "Yes." Jared raises an eyebrow. "You want to serve them at the party? In front of everyone? Is that possible?" "Absolutely. We can have a process server show up right in the middle of it. Very dramatic. Very public." He grins. "I like your style." "What do I need to do?" "Keep acting normal. Don't let them suspect anything. Document everything between now and then. Every lie, every manipulation, every time they treat you like hired help." "And London?" "Yeah?" "Start thinking about what comes after. Because once this bomb goes off, your relationship with your family is over. Are you prepared for that?" I think about the emails, about Felicity calling me a perfect little servant, about Mom laughing at how gullible I am. "They ended our relationship 2 years ago," I say. "I'm just making it official." When I get home, Mom is in the kitchen making herself a sandwich. Not struggling with weakness, not needing help, just making a sandwich like a normal, healthy person. She jumps when she sees me. "London, you're back early." The store wasn't crowded. I set down the grocery bags. "Feeling better?" "Oh, you know, I had a little burst of energy." She sits down heavily, switching back into sick mode. "But I'm exhausted now." "I can make dinner." "You're such a good daughter." Later that evening, we're having dinner when Caden, one of Mom's old friends, stops by unexpectedly. "Maeve," he says, giving her a hug. "You look fantastic. I was worried when I heard you were sick, but you seem great." Mom freezes for just a second. "Oh, well, I have my good moments." "That's wonderful. I remember when my mother was ill, she barely had the energy to get out of bed. But look at you, up and about, cooking dinner." "Actually, London made dinner," Mom says quickly. London's been taking care of everything, Felicity adds. She's practically a saint. That's amazing, Caden says, but I catch him looking at Mom with a puzzled expression. It must be such a relief to have help when you need it. Oh, I don't know what I'd do without her. But Caden keeps watching Mom throughout the visit. When she forgets herself and laughs loudly at one of his jokes, he notices. When she gets up to refill his coffee without any sign of weakness, he notices that too. Well, he says as he's leaving, I'm so glad to see you're doing better, Maeve. You seem almost completely recovered. After he leaves, there's an uncomfortable silence. That was awkward, Felicity says. He's always been too observant for his own good, Mom mutters. I file that conversation away with everything else. Another witness. Another piece of evidence. I should start planning your party menu, I tell Felicity. Do you have any specific requests? Just make it perfect, she says. This party is going to change everything for me. She has no idea how right she is. The next 2 weeks are a masterclass in psychological warfare. Except only I know we're fighting. London, the caterer I wanted, is booked, Felicity announces over breakfast. You'll have to make everything from scratch. Everything? For 60 people? You're so good at cooking. Besides, homemade is more personal, don't you think? She doesn't wait for an answer. Oh, and Remington's mother is vegetarian, and his father can't have gluten, and his sister is allergic to shellfish. I write it all down while she rattles off a list of dietary restrictions that would challenge a professional chef. Also, I need you to deep clean the house. Like, everything. The baseboards, the light fixtures, behind the refrigerator. Remington's mother notices details. When am I supposed to do all this? You have 2 weeks. That's plenty of time. She checks her phone. Oh, and I invited a few more people. We're up to about 70 now. Mom nods approvingly from her spot on the couch. London can handle it. She's so capable. That afternoon, I'm scrubbing the bathroom tiles when my phone buzzes. It's Jared. How's the documentation going? He asks. I've got hours of voice recordings, photos of Mom doing things she supposedly can't do, and a detailed log of every lie they've told. Good. I've got the paperwork ready. We're suing for fraud, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and financial damages. The process server is confirmed for the party. What about after? What happens when this all comes out? Honestly, it's going to get ugly. They'll probably try to paint you as vindictive or mentally unstable. Are you prepared for that? I think about the email where Felicity called me desperate for approval, and Mom laughed about me scrubbing floors. Let them try. The next morning, Aunt Gabriella shows up while I'm making breakfast. You look terrible, she says bluntly. Thanks. That's exactly what every woman wants to hear. I'm serious, London. When's the last time you slept? Really slept? I'm fine. No, you're not. She sits down at the table. Talk to me. What's really going on here? For a moment, I consider telling her everything. But I can't risk it getting back to Mom and Felicity. I'm just tired. The party planning is a lot of work. Why are you doing all this yourself? Felicity has money. She could hire help. She wants it to be personal. Gabriella snorts. Personal. Right. London, you know it's okay to say no sometimes, right? You're allowed to have your own life. I know. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you've forgotten you exist outside of taking care of other people. Before I can respond, Mom appears in the doorway. Gabriella, I didn't know you were coming by. Maeve, Gabriella's voice is cool. You're looking well today. Oh, I'm having a good morning. London made me the most wonderful breakfast. I'm sure she did. Gabriella stands up. London, walk me to my car? Outside, she grabs my arm. Something is very wrong here, she says quietly. Your mother is not as sick as she pretends to be. I've been watching her, and the inconsistencies are glaring. What do you mean? I mean, yesterday I drove by and saw her in the garden. moving heavy planters around. Today she can barely walk to the kitchen. That's not how chronic illness works. My heart pounds. You think she's lying? I think you need to start protecting yourself. Whatever's happening in that house, it's not healthy for you. That evening, Felicity comes home with shopping bags from expensive stores. New dress for the party, she announces, pulling out a designer gown that probably costs more than most people's rent. What do you think? It's beautiful. I know, right? Remington's gonna die when he sees me in it. She holds it up to herself in the mirror. This party is going to be perfect. I can feel it. About the party, I say carefully. I was thinking maybe we should hire some servers. 70 people is a lot for one person to handle. Her expression hardens. London, we've been over this. I want you handling everything. It's important to me. But, no buts. This is my engagement party. My future depends on making a good impression. You're not going to ruin it by being lazy, are you? The word lazy hits like a physical blow. After 2 years of sacrificing everything, she calls me lazy. Of course not. Good. Her smile returns. I knew I could count on you. You're the best sister ever. Later that night, I'm in the kitchen making appetizer samples when I hear voices from the living room. Mom and Felicity, talking in low tones. Getting suspicious, Mom is saying. Who cares? It's only 2 more weeks, Felicity replies. After the party, we can figure out what to do about London. What do you mean? I mean, she's getting too comfortable in this arrangement. Maybe it's time she got a job. A real job. Something that keeps her busy and out of our hair. But who would take care of me? Mom, you don't actually need taking care of. We both know that. There's a pause. I suppose you're right. It has been nice having her handle everything, though. Oh, we'll still make her do the cooking and cleaning, but she needs to contribute financially, too. I'm not supporting a freeloader forever. Freeloader. After everything I've given up, everything I've done, I'm a freeloader. I grip the counter so hard my knuckles turn white. What if she refuses? Mom asks. She won't. London never refuses anything. She's too desperate to please everyone. They laugh. Actually laugh. I pull out my phone and start recording. Besides, Felicity continues, after this party, I'll be practically married into money. I won't need to worry about London's feelings anymore. Let her figure out her own life for once. You're right. We've babied her long enough. I stop the recording and send it straight to Jared. 2 minutes later, my phone buzzes with his response. Holy shit. This is even worse than I thought. Are you okay? I text back. I will be, in exactly 10 days. Because that's when their perfect little world is going to come crashing down, and I'm going to be the one holding the sledgehammer. The week before the party, I meet Jared at his office to finalize everything. The lawsuit is ready, he says, sliding papers across his desk. Fraud, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and financial damages totaling $250,000. That much? Lost MIT scholarship, foregone salary, living expenses, emotional damages. It's actually conservative. He leans back in his chair. The process server will arrive at 7 p.m. sharp, right when the party should be in full swing. And you're sure this will work? London, I've been doing this for 8 years. Your documentation is bulletproof. The emails alone are enough to win this case. He pauses. But I have to ask one more time. Are you absolutely certain you want to do this publicly? We could serve them privately. No, it has to be public. They humiliated me for 2 years. Turnabout is fair play. All right then. He grins. This is going to be one hell of a party. When I get home, there's an envelope waiting for me on the kitchen counter. My name is written on it in elegant script. Inside is a letter from Cambridge University. Dear Ms. London, we are pleased to inform you that your application for our advanced bioengineering program has been accepted. Due to your exceptional academic background and research proposal, we are offering you a full fellowship, including living stipend and research funding. The program begins in 6 weeks. Please confirm your acceptance by... I have to read it 3 times before it sinks in. I applied on a whim 2 months ago, never thinking I'd actually get in. But here it is, my escape route, my new life. What's that? Felicity asks, walking into the kitchen. I quickly fold the letter and shove it in my pocket. Nothing important. Good, because I need to talk to you about the party setup. I want everything perfect when Remington's parents arrive. For the next hour, she walks me through her vision. White roses everywhere, champagne fountain, elaborate appetizer stations, string quartet in the corner. And make sure you stay in the kitchen during the party, she adds. I don't want you mingling with the guests. This is about me and Remington, not you. Of course. Perfect. Oh, and wear something nice, but not too nice. You don't want to upstage the bride-to-be. The day before the party, I'm in the kitchen at 5 a.m. preparing food for 70 people. Mom wanders in around 8, looking perfectly healthy. Smells wonderful in here, she says, grabbing a coffee mug. Thanks. You know, London, I've been thinking. After the party, maybe it's time you got a job. A real job. You can't live here forever. I keep chopping vegetables. I see. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate everything you've done. But you're 26. You need to start thinking about your future. You're right. I do need to think about my future. Good. I'm glad you understand. She pats my shoulder. You're such a good daughter. Always so reasonable. That afternoon, Stella calls. How are you holding up? She asks. I'm okay. Nervous, but okay. I still can't believe they did this to you. For 2 years. God, I want to drive over there and punch them both in the face. Tomorrow night, you won't have to. The truth is going to punch them for you. I wish I could be there to see it. Trust me, you'll hear about it. This is going to be spectacular. The morning of the party, I'm arranging flowers when Felicity comes downstairs in her robe, face mask on. Big day, she says cheerfully. I'm so excited I can barely contain myself. Everything's going to be perfect. I know it will be. You always come through. She examines the flower arrangements. These are gorgeous. Remington's mother is going to be so impressed. I hope so. She will be. And London? Thank you. For everything. I know I don't say it enough, but I really appreciate how you've stepped up for this family. The fake gratitude makes my stomach turn. It's what family does, right? Exactly. We take care of each other. At 3 p.m., the rental company arrives with tables, chairs, and linens. At 4, the string quartet shows up for sound check. At 5, I'm putting the finishing touches on 70 individual appetizer plates when my phone buzzes. It's Jared. Process server is en route. T-minus 2 hours. You ready for this? I text back. More than ready. At 6, guests start arriving. I watch from the kitchen window as expensive cars pull up. Designer dresses. Perfectly styled hair. Remington's parents step out of a black Mercedes, looking exactly as wealthy and judgmental as I expected. London, Felicity calls from the living room. Can you bring out the champagne? I carry out tray after tray, invisible in my simple black dress, while Felicity holds court in her designer gown. She's radiant, glowing with happiness and anticipation. Everyone, I'd like you to meet my sister London, she announces when I walk by with appetizers. She's the one who made all this beautiful food. Isn't she amazing? Polite applause, condescending smiles. How wonderful that you have such a talented sister, Remington's mother says. It's so nice when family helps out. Helps out. Like I'm the hired help getting a pat on the head. London's always been the domestic one, Felicity continues. She's got such a gift for taking care of people. More nods. More patronizing comments about how lucky Felicity is to have such a devoted sister. At 6:45, I excuse myself to the kitchen and check my phone. Jared has texted, 5 minutes out. I take a deep breath and walk back into the living room. Felicity is in the center of the room, Remington's arm around her waist, telling the story of how they met. "It was love at first sight," she's saying. "I knew immediately that he was the one." Everyone's laughing, champagne glasses raised, completely absorbed in the fairy tale romance. At exactly 7 p.m., the doorbell rings. "I'll get it," I say, but Felicity waves me off. No, you're working. Remington can get it." Remington opens the door to find a man in a suit holding an official-looking envelope. "I'm looking for Maeve Schmidt and Felicity Schmidt," the man says loudly enough for everyone to hear. The room goes quiet. That's us," Mom says, stepping forward. "What's this about?" "You've been served," the man says, handing them each a copy of the lawsuit. "Have a nice evening." He walks away, leaving 70 people staring at Mom and Felicity as they read the papers with growing horror. "What is this?" Felicity whispers. I step forward, my voice clear and steady. "It's a lawsuit for fraud, emotional distress, and financial damages. You see, everyone, my mother isn't actually sick, and my sister knew about it the whole time." The silence is deafening. They've been running a con for 2 years, using me as free labor while they laughed about how gullible I was. Felicity's face goes white. "London, what are you doing?" What I should have done 2 years ago. Telling the truth. And then I pull out my phone and start reading their emails out loud. "This is from an email dated 3 months ago," I say, my voice carrying across the silent room. "From Mom to Felicity. Quote, London's so predictable. Just mention how abandoned you feel and she caves every time." Gasps ripple through the crowd. Remington's mother's champagne glass freezes halfway to her lips. "London, stop!" Felicity hisses, but I keep reading. Here's another one. Felicity to Mom. "She's literally the perfect little servant. And the best part is, she thinks she's being noble." "This is insane," Mom says, trying to laugh it off. "London's having some kind of breakdown. She's been under so much stress." "Am I?" I scroll to another email. Here's Mom talking about my MIT scholarship. "The MIT thing is officially dead. London called them yesterday to withdraw completely. I almost felt bad for a second, but then I remembered how much money we're saving on caregivers." The room erupts in whispers. Remington's father steps forward, his face hard. "Did you just say MIT?" he asks. "Full scholarship to their graduate bioengineering program, research position, everything." I look directly at him. "I gave it all up because I thought my mother was dying." "She is dying," Felicity shouts. "London, you're sick. You need help." "Really? Then explain this email where you wrote, 'I can't believe she actually gave up MIT. I mean, I knew she would because she's always been desperate for approval. But still, that's commitment to the bit, lol." Remington drops his arm from around Felicity's waist. "You knew she gave up MIT? It's not what it sounds like." "Here's what it sounds like," I continue. "Mom, talking about me cleaning the house. I almost felt guilty watching her scrub the bathroom floor. But then I remembered how nice it is not having to do any of that myself." "Stop it," Mom screams. "Stop reading those." "Why? Because they're true?" I turn to face the crowd. For 2 years, I've been their unpaid servant. Cooking, cleaning, playing nurse to someone who was never actually sick. And they've been laughing about it the entire time. Caden pushes through the crowd. "Maeve, is this true?" "Of course not. London's having a mental breakdown. She's always been unstable." "Unstable?" I laugh, and it sounds harsh even to my own ears. Here's Felicity talking about this very party. "I told London how important this is to me and how I need her help. She practically melted. It's almost too easy." Remington stares at Felicity like he's never seen her before. "You manipulated your sister into planning our entire engagement party?" "No. I mean, yes, but not like that. And here's my personal favorite," I say, scrolling to the recording from last week. "This is from 6 days ago." I hit play. Mom and Felicity's voices fill the room, crystal clear. Maybe it's time she got a job, a real job, something that keeps her busy and out of our hair. But who would take care of me? Mom, you don't actually need taking care of. We both know that. The silence that follows is deafening. You could hear a pin drop. Oh my God, someone whispers. Remington's mother sets down her champagne glass with a sharp clink. Felicity, is this true? Mrs. Green, I can explain. Can you? Because what I'm hearing is that you and your mother have been running an elaborate fraud for 2 years, using your sister as free labor. It wasn't fraud. It was family helping family. Family helping family? Aunt Gabriella pushes through the crowd, her face furious. London, how long have you known? 2 weeks? 2 weeks? And you've been planning this whole time? I've been documenting everything. Every lie, every manipulation, every time they treated me like hired help while pretending I was some kind of saint. Remington turns to Felicity, his voice cold. The entire time I've known you, you've been lying to me. About your family, about your sister's sacrifice, about everything. Remington, please, you told me London chose to give up her career to help your family. You made me feel sorry for you. You made me admire your family's values. We do have values. What values? His voice is getting louder. Fraud? Manipulation? Using your sister like a slave? Don't be so dramatic. Dramatic? Remington's father steps forward. Young lady, do you have any idea what you've done? My son was about to marry into what he thought was a family of integrity. Instead, he was about to marry a con artist. I'm not a con artist. Then what do you call this? He gestures at the lawsuit papers. 2 years of fraud, financial damages, emotional abuse. It wasn't abuse. London wanted to help. Did I? I ask quietly, and the room goes silent again. Did I want to give up MIT? Did I want to spend 2 years of my life as your unpaid servant? Did I want to be called gullible and desperate behind my back? Felicity's face crumples. London, I'm sorry. I never meant... Yes, you did. You meant every word. Both of you did. I look around the room at all the shocked faces. These people came here tonight thinking they were celebrating love and family. Instead, they got to witness the truth about who you really are. This is insane, Mom says, but her voice is shaking now. London's lost her mind. She's always been jealous of Felicity. Jealous? I laugh again. Of what? Her ability to lie? Her talent for manipulation? Her skill at using people? That's enough, Felicity screams. Everyone out! Get out of my house! Actually, I say calmly, it's Mom's house, and according to the lawsuit, she owes me 2 years of back pay plus damages. So technically, I have more right to be here than you do. Remington pulls the engagement ring from Felicity's finger. We're done. Remington, no, please. But he's already walking toward the door. His parents close behind. One by one, the other guests follow, whispering among themselves, shooting disgusted looks at Mom and Felicity. Within 10 minutes, the house is empty except for family. And me, standing in the middle of the wreckage I've created, finally free. The silence stretches for what feels like forever. Mom and Felicity stand frozen in the middle of their destroyed party, surrounded by abandoned champagne glasses and untouched appetizers. You've ruined everything, Felicity finally whispers, mascara streaming down her cheeks. My engagement, my reputation, my entire future. No, I say quietly, you ruined it. 2 years ago, when you decided to turn me into your personal servant. We never forced you to do anything, didn't you? I pull out my phone again. Should I play the recording where you call me a freeloader? Or the one where Mom laughs about watching me scrub floors? London, please, Mom says, her voice breaking. I'm your mother. We can work this out. Family forgives family. Family? The word tastes bitter. Family doesn't lie to each other for 2 years. Family doesn't steal someone's future and laugh about it. Aunt Gabriella, who stayed behind after everyone else left, steps forward. Maeve, I've suspected this for months. The inconsistencies, the way you'd suddenly feel better when it was convenient. But this? She gestures at the lawsuit papers scattered on the floor. This is beyond anything I imagined. Gabriella, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. You manipulated your daughter into giving up her entire future so you could play victim and avoid responsibility. And Felicity helped you do it. It wasn't like that, Felicity shouts. London wanted to help. Did I want to help? Or did you make me feel guilty every time I tried to have my own life? I ask. Remember when I mentioned taking a class? You immediately started talking about how selfish I was being. Because Mom needed you. Mom needed a housekeeper, not a daughter. There's a difference. The front door opens and Jared walks in, surveying the scene with professional calm. How did it go? He asks me. Better than expected. Good. I've been fielding calls for the last hour. Word travels fast in wealthy circles. He turns to Mom and Felicity. Ladies, you should know that 3 people at this party have already offered to testify on London's behalf. Apparently, your little performance was quite convincing. What performance? Mom asks weakly. The one where you pretended to be a loving, supportive family. Unfortunately for you, the truth has a way of coming out. Felicity collapses into a chair. Remington won't even take my calls. His parents think I'm a fraud. You are a fraud, I say simply. I loved him. Did you? Or did you love his money and status? I look at her tear-streaked face. Because if you really loved him, you wouldn't have built your entire relationship on lies. What happens now? Mom asks Jared. Now we go to court. London has documented evidence of fraud, financial damages, and emotional distress. You can either settle out of court or fight it publicly. Your choice. How much? Felicity asks. $250,000, plus legal fees. Mom's face goes white. We don't have that kind of money. Then you should have thought of that before you decided to con your daughter for 2 years. Aunt Gabriella walks over to me. London, where will you go? I pull the Cambridge letter from my pocket. England. I got into a graduate program there. Full fellowship. When do you leave? 4 weeks. Gabriella nods approvingly. Good. It's time you lived your own life. I can't believe you're abandoning us, Mom says. After everything we've been through. After everything you put me through, you mean? I start gathering my things. I'm done being your victim. London, wait, Felicity says desperately. We can fix this. We can go to therapy, work things out. There's nothing to fix. You made your choice 2 years ago when you decided to use me. Now I'm making mine. But we're family. No, I say, heading for the door. Family doesn't do what you did to me. Family supports each other's dreams instead of destroying them. Family tells the truth instead of living a lie. I pause at the doorway and look back at them one last time. Mom is crying silently on the couch. Felicity is staring at her bare ring finger like she can't believe it's empty. For what it's worth, I say, I hope you figure out how to be better people. But you'll have to do it without me. Outside, Aunt Gabriella catches up with me. I'm proud of you, she says. It took courage to do what you did tonight. It took desperation. Sometimes that's the same thing. She hugs me tight. You're going to do amazing things in England. I know it. As I drive away from the house where I wasted 2 years of my life, I don't feel the satisfaction I expected. There's no triumph, no sense of victory, just emptiness and the strange lightness that comes from finally putting down a weight you've been carrying for too long. My phone buzzes with a text from Stella. Holy shit. Caden just called me. Did you really serve them at the engagement party? I text back. Yep. You're my hero. How do you feel? I think about that as I pull into the parking lot of a hotel where I'll spend my first night of freedom. Free, I type back. finally free. And for the first time in 2 years, that's exactly what I am.